Yeah, I usually do on. I've just been doing it on Zoom and that.
Right.
Because premise
Very
of the
locked
podcast is to it was basically speak to bands from noughties indie kind of thing.
Okay.
So I mean, you're obviously pretty young when that was kicking off. But how into the bands were you from like today? So
Well, I mean, I listened to them a lot when I was younger, and it was kind of the soundtrack of my childhood, really. You know, me just dancing around in tutus, screaming "Ruby, Ruby, Ruby." That's basically my entire childhood.
excellent, yeah. And like it feels like there's less bands today, maybe more solo acts like yourself. Do you think that's true or not really?
What do you mean?
Is
like
it easy to succeed as a solo act?
I don't know. There's so many costs involved in music nowadays. It's a very expensive career path. Being a solo artist definitely has its perks. Just in terms of kind of, I can be in a million places if I need to be. Whereas, you know, I suppose if you're in a band, you have to kind of get everyone and, you know, make sure everyone's free. But then again, you know, if you're in a band, then there's more people who've got different roles and stuff. I don't really know. But I think, yeah, maybe there is probably more solo artists nowadays than there are bands. I mean, you wouldn't have said it otherwise, would you?
Well, it's just one of those, like, trying to work out the differences now between early 2000s or the 2000s and now. Bit of like a minefield, a lot of like...
Maybe it's like lockdown. Maybe the kind of pandemic was like the point where, because that was kind of, I always knew I wanted to be a solo artist, but that was when I really kind of started writing a lot, was in lockdown.
Right.
And I was just writing either on my own or with my dad, who I lived with at the time, who's a musician. So it was kind of like, you know, maybe that's why, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like kind of needing to be self-reliant because it's so costly, I suppose.
And how do you like gain traction and at what point were you like gaining momentum? Really?
I mean, I hate to say it because if there was the option to just throw away my phone tomorrow with zero consequences, I would absolutely do it. But social media has been the thing that's kind of brought any attention or focus to my music. TikTok. During lockdown, when I first started out, I used to do Facebook Lives every weekend. I'd do Friday, Saturday. I used to call it Ballad Fridays. And I built a little bit of a community on there, which then followed me over to Instagram and then eventually over to TikTok. But it's just that grind of like posting about the song that you're promoting as much as you humanly can, really. As draining as it is, and you wouldn't really think that it would be that tiring, but it really is.
And like, do you have like a team around you to help with that now, or is it still on you basically?
I mean, yeah, I have a team of people who all are incredibly helpful and supportive, but the thing with social media is it's this like free kind of incredibly personal tool, so you know, when you are doing these things, I've worked with people on my social media content, but I tend to it's better when I'm just kind of brainstorming it myself, to be honest, because I think the whole idea about building a brand has been about like letting people into the things that you know you want to sell about yourself, I suppose. So I guess it's kind of just me, but more from a choice perspective.
And I heard you say you had a Patreon, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. That feels like the way forward to me, to like cut out Spotify, but it's quite hard to do, isn't it?
I mean, with Spotify, the thing is like Spotify are really great for supporting new musicians because it gives you that kind of wider reach of audiences. You know, a lot of people come up to me and they're like, I found you through so-and-so playlist and blah, blah, blah. Editorial playlist that Spotify have put me on, and I'm really grateful for that, because it means that, you know, there's people in Argentina that listen to my music, and I wouldn't get that reach if it wasn't for platforms like Spotify and Apple Music and stuff. But Patreon is a much more artist-led kind of platform, and I put demos on there once a month and blogs and just little bits of me. Most of the people like who have signed up to it have told me like, we're just there because we want to support you, because you know, they can't actually buy physical copies of my music yet and stuff.
Oh, really?
Not yet, but soon. So yeah, Patreon's amazing. I'm so grateful for the people who support me on Patreon, to be honest, because it's monthly support for me, and it means that I don't have to work in a cafe which I would be doing. And I would not be able to carry on working in a cafe with how busy I am this summer, so I'm really grateful for it.
Yeah. And like, in terms of like record deals and stuff, is it quite linear in that respect, or is it a bit of different in terms of money and everything?
What do you mean?
I suppose, like, I mean, once you get a record label, in the past it'd be like that. Yeah, you get like an advance and everything. Is it a bit different these days?
I mean, it depends where you sign.
Yeah.
You know, like with my label, they're an independent label who have been helping me develop from the day they signed me, basically. You know, in terms of like finances, it's more about like developing the music and developing my branding and the world around that. But yeah, if you sign to like a major label, you know, you do get, I suppose you get like a big advance up front, and then you can buy yourself a Mercedes and get vanity plates. I don't know.
Yeah, fair play.
One day.
What would you get on your plate?
I don't know. Something to do with like football.
Oh, really?
Something really random, like.
Well, you're a big Leeds fan?
No, I'm actually a bit of a Bradford City fan.
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna lie.
You had a good season, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we did. I don't like keep up with it as much as I probably should, but it's my boyfriend's family. They're all Bradford City fans, and I love them very much. So I'm fans of them, so I'm fans of Bradford City.
Fair enough. Now, just some more fun ones. Like, if you had to nick a song off one of the bands playing today, which one would you?
It would probably be I Predict a Riot, because I bet they just absolutely rake it in with that one.
Yeah, especially recently. Yeah.
I actually love Ruby as well.
Okay.
Like, I love that song. Like, that's me being a kid, like, standing on a makeshift stage in front of my whole family at Christmas, being like, everyone look at me for 5 minutes, and then pretending I'm a pop star. That's me singing that song. So.
And if you had to pick someone from Naughty's Indie to cover one of your songs, can you think of someone who you'd pick?
Naughty's Indie.
I mean, not anyone really, but yeah, I suppose it's on brand, isn't it?
Naughty's Indie. I'd pick... Ooh, I don't know. What a good question. Maybe Arctic Monkeys.
Okay. Respect, yeah.
I love Arctic Monkeys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So.
And then who'd win out of 100 Johnny Burrells and 100 who'd win out of 100 Johnny Burrells and 100 Ricky Wilsons?
I reckon it'd be a draw.
Yeah, they're both quite like lane, aren't they?
But it'd be like a proper draw. Like, they both kind of like by the end just be like kind of flopping about, like, you know, a fair tie between the two. I don't know.
A rematch, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Cheers for your time.
Thank you.
Nice one. Yeah, cheers for that.